this PN junction analysis under equilibrium. So the PN junction analysis under equilibrium we have done, and we have also formulated, or we have also derived different parameters like psi naught, which is built-in potential, then your XD, or the depletion weak, so maximum electric field at the PN junction, from the basic 5 equations. So we have seen how to derive those important parameter of PN junction under equilibrium. So this was the summarizing slide. And then we have also seen the different concept associated with the band diagram. Under equilibrium, so when drawing band diagram under equilibrium, we need to follow these two primary principles. One is related to the constancy of EF, because there will be only one Fermi level across the junction under thermal equilibrium, and another principle was related to the continuity of vacuum level, or E naught. So there should not be any discontinuity present within this E naught, or that means your vacuum level. So today we'll start the similar qualitative as well as quantitative analysis of PN junction, but under bias condition. So for that, we know this is the typical current voltage characteristics of PN junction under bias. So it will allow your current to flow when it is biased forward, or forward biased, and then it will block the current when it is operated under reverse bias condition. So essentially, once again, we'll try to derive the mathematical equation of this diode, that you know that I equals to I naught into exponential QV by KT minus 1. So how this exponential equation is coming for your diode, we'll try to see this equation derivation from those 5 fundamental equation. Two related with your drip diffusion or transport, two related to your two equation related to your continuity equation considering hole as well as electron, and the final fifth one is related to your Gauss law. So from this 5 set of basic equation, we'll now try to derive this diode equation for bias condition. So anything else? Okay. So now, before we move further for this PN junction analysis, okay, another thing, if we quickly recall that we derived this diode equation, that is that exponential equation, in a bit qualitative way. So when we discussed, I think last week, Tuesday's class. So when we discussed how this diffusion of carriers is primarily responsible, and by applying the bias, we are simply reducing or increasing the potential barrier for your either electron as well as holes. And from that concept, we have seen how this exponential, this variation of your current with the voltage is coming in case of diode. So we have seen this qualitative way, in a bit qualitative way. We have seen this in last week. So, but now we'll derive this equation, diode equation, in detailed manner. So using those 5 fundamental equations. So before we start this device analysis, once again, remember there are like different set of approximation. So you have seen like, so this particular statement I am telling you again and again, because this is important. Because if you see from very fundamental point of view, you may think like we are doing something that is not related to your fundamental equations or fundamental concepts. So because we need to do this approximation, and the primary objective of this approximation is to achieve our this different equation, mathematical equation. And whereas we should do this approximation carefully, that we should not uh, we should keep the essence of this IV characteristics of typical device. So that we should keep it in mind. So there are a lot of approximation, but careful approximation, so that we should not do very crude approximation, and essentially will lose the actual behavior. So again, I'll explain what are the approximation now we'll do in case of detailed mathematical derivation for your p-n junction. So uh, so for this device analysis or this p-n junction analysis, we'll see that same set of approximation may not hold over entire device volume. So that means the entire device, that p-n junction normal this device will just draw all the thing. So we'll separate or we'll partition our device, overall device, in the different section, and then we'll apply different set of approximation. So we'll use those 5 equations, but we'll use different set of approximation for different part of the device, obviously considering different behavior or condition of those part of the device. So then hence we partition the whole device into different region. Then we'll analyze each region using suitable approximation and boundary condition to obtain once again this 5 parameter. That means electron concentration, hole concentration, electron current density, hole current density, and electric field with the X. So, or the spatial variation of these 5 parameters we'll try to derive. Then we'll combine all the information of this electron concentration, hole concentration, electron concentration, electron current density, hole current density, and electric field for different region. So, and finally, we'll ensure that there will be continuity of this parameter across the boundary, separating the regions to obtain the complete picture. Okay, so this is the statement. Now, what is this? That we'll see. Okay, this part I'll come a bit later. So let us consider this diode. Once again, this P plus N junction we'll consider. Let's say this is the metallurgical or this junction, actual junction, and then since this is P plus N, so we'll have less depletion region here, higher depletion region here. So this is your p-n junction. Now from the first principle, we need to divide this device in different partition. So what are they? So let's say, as we know that this is your depletion region XD, for which we have derived the mathematical expression under equilibrium, of course. Now if we apply this forward bias, so then let's say this forward bias V will drop across this diode. So then obviously there will be voltage drop across this depletion region. Let us name it VD, and then this voltage drop will have across this N region, which is, let us say, Vn, and another portion across P plus region. So this is, we are partitioning the whole device in this 3 separate region. So this is Vp, and here we will have minus. So Vp plus minus, Vd plus minus, Vn plus minus. So these are the, like, from your KVL, you can understand that these are the voltage drop across your device. So then we have these 3 regions. So these 2 region, this you can take this different. So this region, as you know, this is called depletion region or space charge region, and this region, these 2 region, so this 2 region is called quasi-neutral region. Once again, this quasi term, so we have understood this quasi term in explaining that current transport. So quasi equilibrium concept we have seen. So this is called quasi neutral region, because this is not exactly under equilibrium, because we will see in this coming this discussion that there will be changes in the carrier concentration under this under this biasing. So that is why these are not neutral region, but these are called quasi-neutral. That means there is a slight change from the neutral condition. That is why this is called quasi-neutral. So this is quasi-neutral, and this region, as you know, this is called space charge region. So now from our this first step towards this PN junction analysis, we have partitioned our device in 3 regions, 2 quasi-neutral region and 1 space charge region. And now we need to analyze this this different region of our PN junction, applying different set of approximation and boundary condition to solve for our this N, P, Jn, Jp, and E. So these 5 parameters we need to solve from this for this all 3 regions. So now, before again, now we'll see what are the assumption or the simplification we need to make before we proceed further. So what are the assumption? So again, okay, so once again, I should note here, whatever the analysis we are doing now, this is for ideal IV characteristics of diode. I think I can mention here. So this is for ideal diode characteristics or ideal IV characteristics. So because after deriving or after explaining all this concept, next we will see what are the non-idealities present in this device. So that is the actual device characteristics or the diode characteristics or PN junction diode characteristics. So for this ideal IV characteristics, we need to take few assumptions or condition few, or consider few assumptions. What are they? So I have already mentioned this here, so I will not write once again. So these are the assumption for simplification of our mathematical derivation of this PN junction. So the first assumption is depletion region boundaries are abrupt. So what is this depletion region boundaries are abrupt? So that means So these boundaries are abstract. So these boundaries, they are all abrupt. So first is the depletion region boundaries are abrupt. Then junction is also abrupt. That means this particular junction. This is the PN junction. This is the depletion region boundary. Here actually your this boundary where your space charge region as well as neutral region is meeting each other. So this is the depletion region edge, and this is the actual PN junction here. So all these junctions are abrupt. This is the first simplification. Then this doping in this P side, P plus side or N side, they are uniformly doped. So there is no variation, because again in our syllabus we have this diode where we have linearly varying doping, or doping where we will see that doping is varying parabolically, like so they are there. So we'll see later. But here we are considering that the doping is uniform. So next condition, again this is something. So this is uniformly doped, junctions abrupt, and next condition is WP greater than Ln. That means the width of P region is greater than the diffusion length of electron, and then width of N region in this PN junction, P plus N junction, which is very large than the diffusion length of hole. So this particular concept, why we have considered this will be clear after this derivation. So, but just for your this now understanding, so these two region, this is your Wn, this is your WP. So these two regions are very, like this width of these two region very high than your diffusion length of electron, because see this WP is greater than, or very greater than Ln. And see that, look at this change. Although this is p-type region, but we are considering the diffusion length of electrons. And here this is the width of the N side PN junction, but here we are considering this Wn very large than your LP, or the diffusion length of hole. Just for this time, briefly I can tell you that under the forward bias condition, what will happen? You know that the holes will be injected towards N side and the electrons will be injected towards P side. So that is why after injection of your electrons in this P region, so we need to consider the diffusion length, because that essentially, once again, all this transport is the diffusion of carriers, because we have seen how this all these carriers has the thermal energy, and due to this thermal energy they can diffuse from high concentration region to low concentration region, and due to the reduction of potential barrier. So this particular concept we have seen. That is why under this forward bias condition we are considering that diffusion length of electron Ln when you're considering the width of the P region. So this width of the P region should be sufficiently large than Ln, and width of N region should be sufficiently large than Lp. So this is another assumption. So additional two assumptions are this: your forward bias is very small. Okay, what is this? Forward bias is very small. That means, see here we have other two assumptions. So forward bias is very small, and then the voltage developed at quasi-neutral region are 0. So why we are considering, and what is this assumption? See, once again, again, this part we briefly touched upon during that transport. So we are considering this is under quasi-equilibrium concept, like a quasi-equilibrium condition. So quasi-equilibrium means, once again, just a small or slight variation from the equilibrium condition. So this voltage, whatever we are applying, this forward voltage, this is not very large voltage, because see, this quasi-equilibrium, this concept is applicable for our normal discussion. But if we discuss this diode behavior, let's say at very high bias condition, high voltage condition, so then this assumption may not be correct. So that at that time this discussion may be completely different at high bias. But whatever this normal or this general discussion in your PN junction will consider that this applied forward voltage FB is very small. So that is why this is under quasi-equilibrium condition. This FB forward bias is small. So all the changes in the semiconductor all the changes in the device is we can consider that it is under quasi-equilibrium condition. Okay, so because this quasi-equilibrium this condition, if we remember quickly, see, when we have taken that flux concept in transport, so flux F1 crossing from right to left, flux F2 crossing from left to right. So we have seen, like, if F1 is 1000, so then F2 will be 995. So the net flux will be only 5. So then at that time, so that net flux you can ignore, considering this actual absolute value of your F1 and F2. So this concept we have seen. Again, this quasi-equilibrium this quasi-equilibrium condition, all the other parameter like tau c, your this velocity of carriers, these are all constant, because see, at high bias these all these parameters may change. So that is why we are considering this diode is under quasi-equilibrium condition, only slight change from the equilibrium condition. So, and the next next assumption is this voltage developed under quasi-equilibrium this condition and across the quasi-neutral region is negligible. That means, so that means, see, here we have seen we have three voltage component, Vp, Vd and Vn. And since this is quasi-neutral as a quasi-equilibrium condition, so here we are considering another assumption that this Vn or Vp is close to 0. So there is a negligible amount of voltage drop in this N portion as well as P portion of this P plus N junction. So that means this overall this voltage that you are applying forward bias, this voltage V is approximately equal to the voltage appearing across the space charge region. That means V equals to Vt, and which is obviously very, very greater than Vp as well as Vn. So the most of the voltage drop is only across the space charge region, and the voltage drop within this quasi-neutral region we are ignoring. So these are the I think roughly 5 or 6 assumptions we need to consider when analyzing this device. Again, if you are finding it difficult to understand, please let me know. I may try to explain differently. Okay, so these are the assumptions. Now we need to again once again we have seen that what are the different steps associated with this device analysis. So we need to consider different set of approximation for different regions. So for that we have drawn drawn an approximation table. So this is the approximation table. So here, see, these are the different equation, transport equation, two continuity equation, and one Gauss law. And here we have divided this whole device in three parts: two quasi-neutral region, one space charge region. And in this table, we'll keep on writing, or we'll see what are the assumption or approximation we are doing for different regions and for the different equations. Once again I am telling, so these are the three regions: two quasi-neutral region, one space charge region. And for these three regions and for these five equations, we'll do different approximation. And what are those different approximation for, let's say, space charge region, and what are those approximations for transport equation, continuity equation, and Gauss law for two quasi-neutral region, that will keep on writing here. Okay, and we'll see how this approximation is essentially helping us to arrive our this diode current equation. So once again, like it may seems like this is a very exponential, like very simple exponential equation. So why are we doing all this stuff? Because see, this understanding, again I am just repeating, this understanding PN junction is very important as well as sometimes difficult. Okay, but again, you know that PN junction is the heart of most of the semiconductor device. So that is why I'm trying to spend more time and trying to explain the details of this. Okay, so now first let us try to see the electric field distribution. Okay, for that I need to draw. Okay, that drawing, okay, I'll do here maybe. So what is the electric field distribution? So similar to the thing which we have done in case of thermal equilibrium condition. So what will be the electric field distribution in PN junction? Let us once again draw this. So our electric field distribution under forward biased condition, and we have already assumed that the forward biased is now across this space charge region. So VD is equal to your VD. So these are the assumptions we have already explained. And now your electric field distribution okay, I have drawn this. So this is the electric field distribution, similar to what we have seen in case of equilibrium condition, but the changes is in peak electric field as well as the depletion width, because this XD or the depletion region will reduce under forward biased condition, because this PN junction is now forward biased. So this XD or the depletion region width or the space charge region width will reduce compared to your equilibrium condition. And similarly, this electric field distribution will also change. So this dotted line or the area under this dotted line represents the potential under equilibrium. Essentially, that is the built-in potential. And now, after applying this forward bias, your electric field variation is this one. And now the area under this electric field distribution, so this area represents your built-in potential minus the forward bias V. Okay, so I hope this is clear. And so this is the electric field distribution. Now this there is another approximation we have seen in the previous lectures, that is depletion approximation. Depletion approximation. So in this depletion approximation, what we have seen earlier, that when considering the, okay, I can show you this just. That is that image, yeah. So here we have considered this depletion approximation. So this depletion approximation we have considered, we have seen, considering this linear variation of your carrier concentration, holes as well as electron. So then we can consider this depletion age is terminating abruptly. So see, this is the approximation. So although there could be some little variation like this, one second, I'm just repeating this, but this we can approximate that there this depletion region as well as your quasi-neutral region, in this case it is terminating abruptly. So this boundary, here it is 2. So this boundary is change, is abrupt change. So this is called depletion approximation. And this depletion approximation, this concept we have seen in case of equilibrium condition, and this biased condition also, this depletion approximation is valid. How this is valid, that we need to see. So how this depletion approximation, this is still valid under biased condition. So see, in case of your equilibrium condition, we have seen that charge density rho equals to Q P naught minus N naught plus Nd minus Ne. So this is the charge density, and this is the charge density under thermal equilibrium. So then we have seen this this part we can cancel, like this is this will neutralize each other at the, and there will be no free carriers under in the space charge region. That is why we can neglect this 2 concentration, because this charge density is within this depletion region, so there is no free carriers. And similarly, so this is under equilibrium, right? Now in case of bias condition, what will happen? Let us once again write this charge density equation. So this is Q, this is no longer, there is since this was a thermal equilibrium quantity, we mentioned this P naught. Whenever there is a naught, that means that is thermal equilibrium parameter. So now here we need to write P N plus Nd minus Ne. So this is the charge density within this depletion region under biased condition. Now what is this P minus N region? So because this, if we just rewrite this P minus N, under this bias condition, that means the free carriers, once again we can write this as, let's say, thermal equilibrium condition, concentration of hole plus changes in the hole concentration minus your uh, thermal equilibrium concentration of electron and changes in the electron concentration. Now once again, so just P naught minus N naught plus del P minus del N. So once again, this two thermal equilibrium quantity, it will cancel each other. Now what about this del P minus del N? Whether we'll get any resulting carrier concentration, net carrier concentration, or it will be zero. So it will also be zero. Why? Because in the space charge region, whatever the carrier concentration will have, so we'll have electron hole pair generation. So electron and hole will generate in pair. So that is why this we can consider the additional number of holes will be equals to the additional number of electrons, and it will cancel each other. So once again, from this particular derivation, we can see that this depletion approximation, this condition still holds in case of biased diode. So this depletion approximation we have seen earlier in the thermal equilibrium condition, and still it is valid for this biased condition. So this is the depletion approximation. Now what about the XD? Because this XD, this all parameter we have derived in case of thermal equilibrium also. XD means this depletion region under biased condition. So what is this XD? Again, previously we have already derived XD under thermal equilibrium, or the depletion region thickness under thermal equilibrium. Now this XD under biased will be two psi, because here your this potential or the electric field changed from psi naught to psi naught minus V. So your depletion region, this thickness will be now reduced to 2 psi 2 epsilon psi naught minus V divided by Q 1 plus N plus, so ND. And just don't get confused. So this is the depletion region under biased condition. Now, okay, I wrote already here. Now what about this carrier concentration variation under biased condition? So carrier concentration variation means NP, this electron hole concentration variation under biased condition. This is very important, because this NP variation will also give us the JNJP variation, because we need to find out those 5 parameters. This. So now let us try to understand what will be the carrier concentration variation or electron or hole concentration variation across this junction under forward biased. So let us first draw under thermal equilibrium. Let us say this was the majority carrier concentration P naught. Sorry. That means hole concentration under thermal equilibrium in the P side. And similarly, under thermal equilibrium, our this whole concentration in the n side, which is your magnetic area Pn naught. This is the equilibrium, this concentration. Okay. So actually, here it is. Okay, just I need to draw, but I already wrote this. Maybe I will erase this. This is Pn. Okay, now this Boltzmann approximation. So Boltzmann approximation in the last class we have seen. So this is again, this Boltzmann approximation is coming from the that Fermi-Dirac distribution, that concept. So what is this Boltzmann approximation? In the last lecture we have seen. So your psi naught equals to thermal voltage ln Pp naught divided by Pn naught. So this Boltzmann approximation, if we recall, this particular concept we have derived from Jp and Jn equals to 0 under equilibrium. So because this is still equilibrium parameter psi naught built-in potential. So under equilibrium, when your Jp Jn equals to 0, that means once again this Jp J naught within this space charge region, there will be no hole current, as well as there will be no electron current. So from that, if you remember that we have equated our this drift current plus diffusion current for electron, as well as drift current, diffusion current for hole to 0, then we came to this equation, this Boltzmann relation. So now under Fermi, under this forward bias condition, so or where we have this quasi-equilibrium concept, whether this condition is still valid, or what is the change that we need to consider. Okay, so now we have applied. So this is under equilibrium condition, and now under forward bias condition, so where we have this quasi-equilibrium this condition, or just small forward biased, or this voltage applied across the PN junction, what will be the your change in the your uh, concept that we'll see. Okay, before we moving further, we have already considered one condition in this approximation table. So in this approximation table, we have already derived this rho, or this xd. So we have already derived these parameters, and these parameters we are deriving from the Gauss law. So here in this approximation, we have already considered this depletion approximation when applying this Gauss law, because see, whenever we will consider this depletion approximation, then only we can apply that Gauss law, and at the edges. So if we are not considering this depletion approximation at the edges, we will not be able to arrive that electric field distribution or that depletion region, or this xd. So this is after considering this depletion approximation within the space charge domain, and we arrive to this. So then we have already consider this depletion approximation. And now next we are deriving this forward bias. So in forward bias condition, what will happen? So see, we have JNJP, and this JNJP is once again the summation of diffusion current plus drift current we have seen. So from this particular this electric field distribution, we can see okay. So we have, due to this, okay, from the generic concept I can I'll just explain. See, when we applied this forward bias, so earlier we had this depletion. Okay, let me. See, this is the electric field applied. This is, I'm showing this vector as a vector quantity, and the length of this arrow is representing the magnitude of your electric field. So this is the built-in potential from this N side to P side, that we know that here we'll have this donor positive ions, here we have acceptor negative ions. So electric field, due to the built-in potential, we have from this left to from this right to left. Now when we have applied let's say this is electric field under equilibrium, and now we have applied external bias. So this is the voltage we have applied, or electric field we have applied externally due to the voltage V. And now under this forward biased condition, the resulting your electric field will be this one. So here once again, these are all vector quantity. So this is the electric field externally we have applied, and now this is the resulting. So anyway, my figure is not in scale. So the overall the message is, see, due to this applied forward biasing, the electric field will reduce, or the voltage psi naught, or the built-in potential will reduce. And due to this reduction in the this built-in potential, there will be reduction in the potential barrier. Okay, once again, so actually, so again in band diagram we have shown that, let's say this was the potential barrier. So again we have shown you this electron distribution. So then electron will go and electron will bounce back. Now due to this forward biasing, what is happening? This potential, this barrier is reducing. So that means now it is reduced to here. So this potential barrier, that means this barrier, this is reducing. And for this, what is actually happening? See, this due to the diffusion of electrons. So there will be more diffusion of electron than the drift of your electron. So this drift of electron, why this is there was a balance between drift and diffusion under thermal equilibrium. That is why we came to this Jp, Jn individually equal to 0, because the whole current due to diffusion and the whole current due to drift, they were equal and opposite under thermal equilibrium. But whenever we have forward biased it, so there will be more diffusion because there is a reduction in barrier height than the drift. So that means you will have some current, and again this is the current you are getting in the forward biased. So due to the reduction in the barrier height, there will be more diffusion than the drift of your electron, and this drift is due to the this again from this band diagram you can see electron will always try to take the lowermost energy. So this is the and this band bending is due to the built-in electric field within the p-n junction. So this is the drift. So the electron flowing from left to right is due to the drift, and electron flowing from right to left is due to the diffusion. Now under forward bias condition, this arrow or this diffusion is more. So that means we should have some Jp and Jn under this your space charge region. Okay, but once again this Jn Jp will like okay, so individually this drift and diffusion current is very high. Okay, what is the time? It is almost 1. So individually this drift and the diffusion current is very high, but due to this cancellation the resulting Jn or Jp will be very small. So that means due to diffusion the whole current is very high, due to drift the drift of hole the current is very high. But since we have this cancellation, the resulting total current Jp due to hole or resulting total current due to electron will be very small. So that is why still under this forward biased condition, see now we are under forward biased, but although we have this high drift and diffusion component, but the summation of these two will be close to 0. So that means, okay, let me write separately. So Jn Jp, we can write this is close to 0 in space charge region. So considering this, okay, I thought that I'll stop here today. I'll not go further. So just remember that still now this Jn and Jp equals to 0 under space charge. Now in your this approximation table, we have once considered another condition. So this condition, see this individual Jp and Jn will be close to equal to 0. Why? Because the Jn drift and Jn diffusion is very the value is very close. Although once again remember this under bias condition this diffusion will be more than drift, but still the deviation is not that high under space charge region. Okay. So why we are taking this approximation, like again in the next class it will be clear, like due to this approximation what is the parameter we are getting. Okay, so similarly your electron and hole, these all both conditions are valid. So I'll stop here, I'll not go further today, and let me know if you have any doubts. Is this very complicated? Then are you all there? Okay, I'll stop this.